Morning folks, it's the 19th of February today and it is horrible out. We've had, so look, we've had 29 millimeters of rain in the last 24 hours. It's everywhere's wet and, well, just to demonstrate, this is the river on the 11th of February. I was down there taking some photographs. It was just lovely. It was really cold, but so much of the water was bound up in the ice around the place that there wasn't a lot in the river. But this is it today. You can see it's a little bit different. Oh, that was interesting. I just got disturbed by the postman who's just brought a delivery from Gardening Naturally. And that's going to be our fleece for starting off all of our seedlings, which is exactly why I'm sitting in by the fire today. And I'm just going to try and put a video together just to bring you up to speed with what we're doing with our garden. And we've started our first sowings this week. We've got quite a few trays sown, and they're in the caravan at the moment, just to get the warmth up. It's a little bit warm, that's why I've got the fire going. It's a bit warmer in the caravan than it has been of late. We're doing that until our hotbed gets up to temperature, which we put together just a couple of days ago. And so I'm going to show you a few bits and pieces about the hotbed and the polytunnels and what our plans are with growing and food, and hopefully you'll find it of interest. So this came at just the right time. So our polytunnel comes with 6 pairs of hoops, which means you've got 12 foundation tubes that have to go in the ground. They have to be square and they have to be level. As you can see, the ground isn't level here, so it's a bit of messing around, but yeah, you've got to take your time, you've got to get it square. So we set the 4 corners out first and measure that diagonal, make sure the diagonal's the same in both directions. And then you can see here we're digging a trench. Well, I'm not. My mate Steve's digging a trench while I put the frame up. And the trench takes the cover when that goes on. The cover goes right over the top and into the trench, and then you backfill the trench with the soil that you've taken out. And that kind of holds everything down. So we're going to get some pretty strong winds here, I guess. And that's why we got a round one rather than the straight-sided polytunnel. So hopefully the wind's just going to go up and over. And then there's the door frames, which I made myself. Trying to trade off whether we want height or width. Obviously the wider you go, the lower the door is, because it's on the hoop, and I'm not the shortest guy in the world, so I wanted a bit of height, but we ended up with doors about 1 metre wide. There you go. So once we got to this stage, it was a case of getting the cover on. So that's picking a day without too much wind, wrapping it over, and then just placing a few bits of soil back in the trenches to hold it down. And then you have to fix everything at the door end and then pull it tight to the other door, fix it all, and then stamp it down into the trench that you've dug. So once that was done, then we were able to go through the process, put cardboard down on the ground, cover the beds, the area we were going to bed, with cow manure and then compost. We made 2 edge beds and then a central bed. We're leaving us 2 paths, trying to maximise the growing space. And we planted some garlic and some broad beans back in late November, and although they've not grown greatly, they've been putting their roots down, and hopefully they will be amongst our first crops. So we bought this polytunnel back in, what, August?
Yep.
And something got a mix up over the delivery. It took, instead of taking 3 days, it took, what, 3 weeks or
5.
5 weeks to deliver. And it came in about 6 different packages, and it all got confused what had arrived, what hadn't. So what happened in the end was we ended up with 6 spare hoops and a spare cover. So with the addition of a scaffold pole that I cut up to make into ground supports, and we bought a couple of extra bits, braces and that. We ended up making this extra polytunnel, which has just got one entrance, and we're going to use this as our kind of potting shed really. And the plan inside is I've used some pallets and made a bench for seedlings, and there'll be another bench underneath or halfway, and then this piece here is going to be it's got to have a front put on it, and it will be lined with cardboard inside, and then we will fill that with fresh horse manure, and the heat from the horse manure will generate enough to germinate seeds. So it'll be like having a propagator, like an electric propagator, except all from natural resources. So that's where we'll lay our seedlings, or our seed trays, across the top of the hotbed, and then once they've germinated, they'll go across onto that bench. But not to waste any space, we're also going to make some beds in here. We think the best way to do that will be to have a central bed and have a path that goes either side of the central bed, one to the hotbed and one to the little seedling shelf. So that's what we're doing now. We're going to fill some compost, bring some compost in here on top of the cardboard, which has been in here for quite a few weeks now. So it's now 21st of February. Just been and got some more horse manure just to top up the hotbed, and checked it this morning, and temperature has risen quite nicely. Hold on, just go in and have a look. Let me see that. Oh, 40 degrees. So 40 degrees, that's pretty good, but we want it really to be up around 60. And so I've got a couple more barrelfuls I'm going to put on the top, and that should kick us up to the 60 degrees with the fresh stuff. And this is our beds in the polytunnel now. Got that corner one there, that one over there, and the one in the centre. Just left us enough pathway to be able to get to everything. And we're going to sow some beetroot today in that tray, and hopefully we'll have some sprouting updates soon. Try and contain yourself.
I can't. I'm off again.